seen a video of a guy who's done that, injecting the oil into his actual like muscle tissue, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. That's not good.
No. It's like Botox almost. It's trying to shape the muscle into a certain size.
Botox is
like
beautiful.
his arm is like,
No. So Botox is much better, because Botox is very acute. This is like chronically, like bodybuilders get out of control with this shit.
Yuck.
it's nuts. But yeah, looking at that guy, his arm was like kind of how mine looks, and it goes. It's just huge, and then like
It's like when you were a kid, you put balloons on your sleeves.
Yeah, it's literally how it looks. Anyway, but don't do that. Don't do back.
Don't do backdoor.
I was gonna say
Whoa! Whoa!
What have you been able to do lately? So wait, you said you had OnlyFans, Amy?
Well, we clearly don't do backdoor, so
it's all pegging. No. So don't do backdoor steroids.
Chris is, you know,
Self-roast himself. Oh my god!
Chris is the type of guy that sticks his ass out.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, we won't get into that.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're gonna find the remote, Chris. Don't stick your ass in there.
You gotta do it like you're looking for the remote under the couch.
Jake, can you refer to what we're talking about?
I can imagine him. His ass is just full.
Okay, we got to let the listeners know what you're talking about. Just you don't have to go into depth like you did on the other one, but like let's explain where this is coming from.
All right, so basically,
Gold.
Dudes of the round table.
So basically, the boys on the Mo and Rory podcast were talking about. So you don't stick your ass up in the air when you're going down on your partner or the person you're seeing, right? You don't arch your back, right? Rory's like, I mean, there's occasion times where, you know,
as a guy, you don't arch your back.
As a guy, you don't arch your back,
Got
right?
to describe the point of view from what
you
the
know,
woman would say.
So like, because you know, especially if you're a real like white boy like myself, your ass is out in the air, man. Like you don't want that looking like there's a beam of light, you know, and like
coming out your ass.
Yeah,
Chris's ass is down.
yeah. But no, so like Mo's like, man, you're a crazy white boy. Like you got to make sure you're looking for the remote on the side of the bed, you know, like you gotta move real slow and like make sure you're not arching no back, man.
What do you say? Because that's why I like to keep my pants on before I go down on my woman. Keep them on while doing it.
Yeah.
Pasty butthole sticking up in there.
Oh, God.
Shit. What were we talking about?
I know what I want to talk about.
All right.
Your little win this week, or this last week, or wherever it is. The thing that you keep bringing up every goddamn week. You're like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, Chris, you've fucking shown me this 10 times.
We've seen this for about 2-3 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, I know. I want you to prop it up some more because it's cool. No, all right.
Come on, tell us.
Bob Lazar, for those people who don't know who Bob Lazar is, I've mentioned him numerous, probably on every second episode of the podcast.
More like.
He's the guy who worked at S4 at Area 51, and he apparently worked on a disc craft dubbed the sports model.
Yeah.
Anyway, I purchased another picture from his company called United Nuclear. My first one is that I bought from there is up on the dude's wall, which will show on the show screen here.
Yep.
Anyway, he's released a new one of a more in-depth version of the actual craft and the interior of it and whatnot. And he's signed it, and I've done like a post saying like, I'm really happy with my new purchase from United Nuclear. This is so cool, rah rah. Go check him out, and he's liked the post. And I'm like, wow, the man himself has liked my post. So that kind of made my week. It's made my
He was like
month.
a kid at Christmas.
So they talk now. Like, they're homies.
So you're right. That was a small win for me.
Absolutely.
Cool. I like that.
That's amazing. It's like you're fanboying.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. Anyone who's into this
So
stuff,
now, like, Chris
whoa.
is just like tagging him and hashtagging him and everything. You're like, what do you think of this one, Bob?
BFF forever.
fucking Chris guy again. Jesus.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Spam.
Shouts out to Bob. Yeah.
Shout out to Bob.
That was my
But that's a pretty big highlight.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah. But as well, we've also had another, I guess, moment in time that was a bit of a highlight to remember an individual that was very influential, I think, to a lot of people.
Definitely.
A big influence to Jakey Boy over here.
Yeah.
And then, as I only discovered 12 months ago, Amy over here also really likes him as well.
Sir.
It's funny when you get used to like listening to someone or knowing someone only listening to a certain type of music for a long period of time, and then you realize that they actually have a whole other taste as well.
Yeah.
They're a human being.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am a human
And I was like,
being.
whoa,
What? You like stuff?
yeah, I like stuff
And
too.
things. What?
But what we're talking about here is it's been 3 years since the amazing Mac Miller
Yes.
has left
this
us
world, yeah.
from this
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah.
You selfish bastard! Why didn't you send back spaceships?
Please.
Please get us out of here.
Yeah, the world's not good without you.
No, it's not the
It's
same.
crazy.
It's not the same. Definitely a hell of a musician too. And
Amazing
the
musician.
content he left behind is something to party to get down to,
Yeah.
to just
Chill.
mellow to, and
Yeah.
just to think about.
Bro, I watched that documentary you told me to. We'll put the documentary in the show notes and in the description below of the YouTube video. I watched that documentary.
Yeah,
you
it's,
mentioned. That was amazing to watch. Also a little bit sad with like what he says on that as well.
Yeah, he gets,
which we'll talk about.
It gets pretty personal and deep in that, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But it's a beautiful doco, and you get to see a lot of sides of Mac that a lot of people didn't actually
get to
see, you know. So,
Yeah. But you were right. Like, so we were all caught up the other day, and Jake was like running us through like a bit about Mac and how like he's just such a lad. Like, you know, amongst all the fame and everything that he has in this realm, like kind of like physical and stuff, like his achievements, his accolades, all that kind of stuff. It's like he feels like the kind of dude that you could hang out with, and
He's a lad.
he'd just be like one of us on our level.
Yeah.
You know, like he's not tearing himself
Not
above us.
superficial and like
Yeah.
me. It's nothing like that at all.
But no, that's cool. I wanted to know, how did you stumble upon Mac?
yeah, shit. Fuck, that's a good question, man.
I know that's why I'm asking it.
Yeah, it all falls back to 2011, man. Back when I was in high school, I was 15 at the time, and me and my best mate, we used to allegedly download music illegally off
LimeWire.
LimeWire, you know,
God.
and you know the good old LimeWire days, mate.
It took 30 minutes to
With it-
download one song.
Yeah, with
I
our
did not have sexual relations with that girl. God damn it!
yeah, man, yeah. So 2011. Yeah, me and the boys, we used to go to my homie's house, and he'd have the whole setup of, you know, we'd all link our iPods up to the computer, and yeah, we'd go off for like a skate or something, and come back, and it's an album's finally been downloaded up for like an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, sick. And then yeah, man, I came across his album called Kids. It came out in 2009.
Yep.
But I discovered Mac in 2011.
Yep.
So yeah, so I heard the first song I heard was Kool-Aid Frozen Pizza.
Yep.
And still to this day, that's one of my most go-to songs, man, of Mac. But yeah, it was really badass. It's like such a cool freaking like groovy kind of song. But it's just like he brought out a side of hip hop that I think a lot of people were wanting, because at that era of like the the mid 2000s, a lot of people were a fan of the 90s MCs and rappers and stuff. So Mac had that real like Big L kind of funkadelic kind of, you know, bit like Biggie's kind of beats as well, like in that album specifically. And
Yeah.
just that Kool-Aid Frozen Pizza song, if you don't know what that song is, check it out. It's such a groovy song. It just brings you like hype. It's like a feel good kind of song at the same time, man.
Yeah.
So I came across that, got the album, and I just fell in love with him, man. Like I fell in love with his music, his characterism, his chemistry towards music, and just the fact that he was so gifted musically. Like just he could play any instrument pretty much under the sun, man. So that's how I come across him, man. Back in my early teen days, and he helped me through a lot, man. You know, so
Well, this music did kind of speak, didn't it? It was like, it wasn't like most rappers these days.
No,
Or like the ones that just are like one hit
Bitches
wonders.
and money.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. He kind of stood
And
away.
this is her.
He definitely stood away from that stigma, man. You know, like he was a white boy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Which is in the United States. Yeah, man. He just made it cool for white people to listen to hip hop, man.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously Eminem. You know, don't hate me. I love Eminem, but you know, he did that in the early 2000s for your guys' kind of era.
Yeah.
And then it kind of died off. Then, you know, there was no real white rappers around after M for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was a massive Lil Wayne fan, M, Big, Puck, all through my, I'd say, younger youth / early teens. And then when I got to like late high school, that's when I came across Mac. And and then all these up and coming MCs, right? And so Mac really brought it back for us white boys to really invest and love hip hop just as much as anyone else does, you know. So, man, that's what I thought was really cool about Mac was he just brought this funk that hip hop didn't have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What would you say he's kind of like? I find like really good artists, they always have something that they kind of stand for, or like what they're hoping to kind of, I guess, bring to other people.
Yeah, what was he trying to give and what was he trying to portray?
Yeah.
What was his,
to like his younger self, what would he be trying to do for his younger self, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Listen to him over the years, man. I mean,
Smoke as much weed as possible.
I mean, yeah, no, you're not wrong, Chris. I mean, he spoke to the youth a lot in his earlier albums, for sure. Like to help kids that went through. It's like he made tough times and people going through, whether it be anxiety, depression, or substance abuse.
Yeah.
You know, he made it like, okay,
relatable to that.
It's cool, but let's kind of guide you to something that can help you deal with that issue or those problems, or get through those times, you know. And
let them know that they're not the only ones feeling that.
And they're not alone, because he was doing it currently while still making music. You know, he had a pretty I'm not gonna say he had a rough upbringing because he didn't, but he was around it. He was around it a lot, and I think obviously being surrounded by that environment as well as experiencing it, and as well as being a young youth himself. Like he was 18 when he wrote Kids, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he got signed young as well. Like he was on the grind for so many years, but at the same time, during that grind, like he was doing that shit. It was, you know, he was around that environment for such a long time. So I think what he was trying to pursue at that time in his younger up and coming times was just to like relate as much as you can possible to people around his age and let them know like this is possible. You could do this. Like I'm just a dude that used to record on YouTube and now I'm famous. You know, kind of thing. But except he didn't care about the fame. He was more about this is my art. This is the passion. You guys can do this too. You know. So because it's like a lot of these guys get famous, especially around that time, and they kind of didn't give a fuck about that. They'll never personally forget their upbringing and shit, of course. But it's like Chris said, is fucking money, fucking bitches, fucking getting money and all that stuff, you know, bro. So it was kind of like shying away from that shit for a little while there. But now, obviously, in the hip hop realm, it's nothing but talking about how the struggles are and tough times. A little bit similar to like Eminem, I guess you could say, but except
super personal.
But it's very personal, very in depth, and it's a lot to do with what we're talking about on today's podcast, man, which is mental health and a lot of the illnesses that people deal with on a daily basis, man. So Mac, he was a gentleman, man. He cared a lot, and he was a giver, bro. I think he was an angel sent on earth, and
he was needed back.
He was needed back, man. Yep.
No, for sure.
But he was meant to be here to release his art and craft, man, to the world, to let them know like, you're not alone. And it was just,
hey, look what he's left behind, man. Like,
man,
the bang is
incredible, bro. Like, you know, he didn't just write sad stuff too, man, or should I say emotional, deep, you know, personal art. He really made a whole bunch of everything, man. It was so creative, bro. He was a creator, man. And he was an alien too when it comes to music, bro. You know, like he broke barriers, but for the right reasons, man. So, so he's special, man. He's a very special dude, and you know, rest in peace to the king, man. I fucking miss him every single day, bro.
Yeah.
So he helped me through a lot, man. He helped me get through high school. He helped me get through my apprenticeship days, man. And it's crazy because it's like never got to meet the guy. I saw him perform twice. I was so blessed.
I was going to say you've seen him play.
I got to see him twice, man, and that was an honor. And just sounds just like he does on the records, man. Like just incredible. Like this dude he was just amazing. And you could just like certain people you meet or come across in your lifetime, you know, when you go, that person's aura or energy was fucking vibing, or it was
you can
beautiful.
See it almost.
You can almost see it.
Yeah.
It was like as soon as he come on stage, it's like every artist fans go like freak out and shit. But it's like when I saw him come out, I saw his pain, but I saw his happiness, and I just saw this like energy, man. I was just like, this dude's he's one in a million, man. Like he's just got it, you know? And it made you invest in him, bro, when you listen to his music, and it made you feel like you knew this dude, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of artists do that. Like a lot of musicians and artists do that with their music, but like Mac, not to be biased, man, but he was just something else, bro.
He brought it a whole
He brought
way, And I do feel, man, like he, like going back to like Kids all the way up to Circles, you feel like he had a real essence of youth.
Yeah.
power,
Yep.
partying, sadness, and just, you know, well-being of it all, you know?
Yeah, and it was all crammed in at once, you know?
Yeah, and,
So-
and you feel that through the progression of all albums and EPs that he released.
For sure.
Especially Circles. Like, for me personally, like, I got into him a little bit later, but after he'd passed, they released Circles, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
and
after.
The parents,
That was 2 years later, yeah. So
That album is just... I remember you showing it to me, and I'm like, eh. And then you're like, no, actually have a listen to it. And I think it was... I think it was the song Woods that I listened to first, and I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, listened to the whole album on repeat for like a couple of weeks straight, and I'm like, this album's
Insane.
this is
phenomenal.
something else.
Yeah.
I can't put it into words of what it's so much in one. Like you feel so much, but you can hear it in his voice. You can feel it when you're listening to it. Like so much emotions and shit that he was obviously going through at that time. Like, and it was just such an incredible album. And if anyone hasn't listened to it, do yourselves a favor and go and check out that album in particular.
Circles.
yeah.
It's absolutely
It's very special,
incredible.
man.
Like that's all I can say about that. But have you got a particular favorite album that you like of his the most, or
man.
if you had to choose, gun to your head, what is your favorite Mac album? If you had to,
Favorite Mac album. For me, it definitely would have to be The Divine Feminine.
Okay.
To me, that's a very love.
That was
sort
a
of,
cool album.
It was
I
a
It was
like
the
that.
Ariana days, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the Ariana
Yeah.
days.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
To me, the reason people say that, they're probably thinking, "Oh, why would you pick that?" It's such a lover kind of like. To me, it's not just about loving someone.
Yeah.
It was about appreciating life at your
loving
lowest moments, as well as your highest moments.
Yeah. That's cool.
And the fact that it lets you embrace your feminine side, hence the name of the album, Divine Feminine, right?
Yeah.
I like that. It's cool.
I think it was just such a beautiful, touchy album that made you embrace a lot of things that you don't normally appreciate
Yeah.
towards life. And just, it was very soulful, man. And I'm a pretty emotional dude, so yeah, man, it just made me realize, wow, this guy he's fucking next level, man. He just come from the most OG kind of funkadelic hip hop scene to now this, like,
Yeah.
where the hell did you pull that from, man? Like,
Hey, that's
you know,
just the purity of a good artist, isn't it?
and
Really?
he broke the stigma, and that was like when I understood he did that, I was like, oh shit, yeah, like this is it. He's gonna take this whole music game to another level that no one ever has.
Yeah.
And then after that album, my second favorite would have to be Equal Swimmings and Circles Together. Like technically that's
is a good
actually
album.
it's one album. Circles is part 2 of Swimming.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So they're equal second for me for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
I love all of his albums. I fucking can't pick favorites, bro. But if I had to, man, that's how it would be.
Yeah.
So, but for me, man, yeah. When he released Swimming, a month before he passed, I just said to my close mates and family and friends, and you, of course, I said, you know, this is it. He's gonna be like the Beatles of hip hop. You know, like Drake is now, obviously, and J. Cole and Kendrick, they're on that GOAT platform. But
Yeah.
Mac was like,
He was heading there.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, he was up there,
yeah.
bro. But at the same time, it was like he was like doing laps in other realms. It's like, oh, Mac's huge in classical jazz. Mac's huge in hip hop. Mac's huge in R&B, soul, funk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like he was just going anywhere and everywhere with it, and it's like this is it. This is where he's going to take off. And
I agree with you 100%. I was almost going to say
that album,
I'm gonna say it.
changed him, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
I was going to say he was kind of like, he reminds me of like how John Lennon is, you know, like he made such incredible music.
Yeah.
And imagine what if.
Yep.
Yeah.
What would
right.
we have now if he wasn't?
Absolutely.
If they were still here. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
What would we have if they were still here?
Yeah.
And he was a huge Beatles and John Lennon fan, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah, he was, man. He was in his earlier days. He was obsessed with John Lennon, man. Like, and a lot of his music videos, especially from the Macadelic album, and I'd say the what else album was it? Blue Side Park, which was when I
that's
really
old school.
That's when I
Is that
really
with the, you had the jacket.
I had the jacket.
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
most dope jacket, bro. Yeah. So around that era was based on how Lennon took his craft to a next level, and that's what Mac was trying to do. He was
Yeah,
doing the
right.
same. So yeah, you know, you can definitely tell that he's got the old soul.
Yeah.
You hear
Yeah.
it, especially in the latest stuff that he's done. Like there's a live performance that you showed me once of him, and he's got a whole band around him, and it's funky, it's soulful, and I think that's the direction I reckon he would have took. It was more like band focused.
Well, that's
like,
yeah, absolutely, man. So, like I was saying with swimming and circles, Murray, he was bringing the bands in. He was playing instruments as well as he was teaming up with a lot of
dope.
talented musicians,
So
man,
good.
that he created a band with, right? And yeah, they were going to go on tour with him, world tour, and yeah, it would have just sparked a whole new game for the hip hop world, bro. So. I was getting emotional thinking about this shit, man. For real, it's killing me talking about this, but I love it, man. I love talking about Mac, and yeah, dude, he was one in a million. He was such a gentle, kind soul, bro, and I hope to be half the man he is someday. I'm working on it. I'm trying to be like him, man. Not only musically wise, but just he was something else, man. And he was just a really lovable, likable person. And you felt like he was your best mate when you listened to his music. You know, you feel like you knew this guy on a personal level, man. So
Yeah.
it's pretty special.
That's crazy.
Rest in peace to the gentleman, Mac Miller.
Yes, sir.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, and I think it's cool that we brought him up on this episode. Been very special as well. Like you mentioned, you know, like you've seen him live, you've heard it, and you can hear it in his music and stuff like that. His pain, you know, and not that he came from a bad childhood or anything like that.
No.
But like, you know, everybody has their challenges.
You don't need to come from a bad childhood.
No,
exactly
no.
right.
Everybody has their challenges.
Yeah.
Life will throw challenges your way, 100%. Which is why, you know, like I think it's very important, and I hope we make a difference, even just one person, with this episode.
Yeah.
You know, with obviously it's going to be released in 2 parts, but you know, whichever part speaks to you the most, I hope it helps at least just one person. You know, because I think that's super important.
Absolutely, man.
You know, and as we mentioned at the start of the episode, you know, there's been a lot of big days this week.
Yes.
Are You OK Day was yesterday on Thursday. Today, that we're filming this on, is World Suicide Prevention Day.
Big one.
It's such a big thing, especially in this day and age. You know, and with everything that everybody's going through at the moment, you know, lockdowns, isolation, break in human connection. It is so important to put those 2 days together.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, like, you know, prevent suicide, prevent doing anything that drastic by just asking people if they're okay. And making
Just
sure
talking
they're
to
okay.
people is just
Hell yeah.
the difference it can make. You know?
Hell yeah,
Like,
hell yeah. And I think like I just want to kind of like, you know, the meaning behind us going and supporting Beyond Blue and doing this fundraiser is for a few reasons. For me personally, why I brought it up, and you know, I'm glad you guys kind of jumped on board with it as well, is because there's a lot of personal experience with me, myself. I know a lot of us have had our own challenges as well. Personally, for me personally, I'm not afraid to kind of share where mine kind of come from. I've got family members that have had severe anxiety. My mum's got severe anxiety. My sister's got severe anxiety. My brother's had depression. My dad had depression, which I believe is the main thing that kind of led him to his, you know, untimely young death as well. I've definitely dabbled with my bouts, and a long time ago, you know, if you asked me, 22-year-old me, what do you think about anxiety? I'd be like, it's not real. Until I had my own anxiety attack. You know, so I was naive until it happened to me, you know, and so the shit is real. And I think the one message I want to kind of give away with this episode is mental health is not, because I believe that a lot of people think mental health is all about like either you're seeing pink elephants or you're depressed or your anxiety or you have anxiety, sorry, or there's, you know, something's wrong with me or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be that drastic.
There's a lot of grey area.
Yeah. And it can simply just be, I feel sad today.
Yeah.
I don't feel right today. Fuck. Today, coming here to this episode, you know, I found out some shit which I'll talk to you guys about after the episode. But like, I didn't feel great coming here. Like, I had a bad day. You know, like I was messaging you guys at the start of the day. Well, I was on the fucking treadmill when I was messaging you guys, and I was like, I'm fucking psyched for this episode. I can't wait to have my head shaved. Like,
Yes.
Which stay tuned. It's coming up soon. But like, you know, one small thing. It doesn't mean you have to have had. And I'm only listing off a few things. I know there's many things. It could be trauma. It could be drug abuse. It could be fuck knows, medically
It could be
induced,
something,
whatever.
It could be huge. It could be something really tiny.
You just need
yeah.
one bad day
Yeah.
for everything to go south. Just make sure you ask for help. And I want to reference back quickly, because I've been listening back to our earlier episodes. I want to reference back to, cannot remember the number episode, but it's Welshie's Anatomy.
Yes.
Yeah, when we had Welshie on.
That's gone way back.
Yeah, going
Episode
way back. Was it episode 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, wow. Was it?
You have a good memory.
Sometimes.
But why I'm bringing it up is because his words of wisdom was get help.
Yeah.
No matter what your problem is, no matter what your challenges are, what you're going through, don't be afraid to ask for help, because
There's no shame in it.
It's easier to get through and work through what you're going through if you just ask for help, even if it's just a conversation with someone.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Just ask for help.
It could just be that one thing, like whatever the situation is, like it could be massive, it could be small. Just talking about it could make you feel just that little bit better, to make you not do
100%.
that thing that you
Absolutely.
would regret doing.
And it doesn't mean to say go see a psych. It could be
No.
open up to someone you feel comfortable or
Message
you
someone.
trust, or just
Call
message
someone.
someone that you can go,
Yeah.
I can be a little bit vulnerable to, because I feel literally comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
just
You know?
the fact of acknowledging someone that you can see is going through something could make,
make a huge difference.
Could make all the difference to
Yeah,
that person too.
100%.
They
Even
think,
if you don't-
oh my god,
Yeah.
someone's noticed me
Yeah.
and they've said something, or they've asked me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, someone does care.
Or they're sharing a similar.
That could be the trigger point to stop
experience.
someone from
100%.
Yeah,
man. Absolutely.
You could change someone's life. You could change the trajectory of someone's life.
Yeah.
You could help that one person. It's always the what if, and it doesn't cost. And again, to reference another episode when we had Fingers on, Adam, he mentions it doesn't cost you anything to be nice.
No
You
way.
know, like, just be nice to people. And that could be simply reaching out a hand and being like, "Hey, you all right?
Yeah.
What can I do for you today?"
yeah.
It's true. It's just the
It's
little
simple,
things that
simple,
count the
simple,
most
simple,
on a bigger
simple.
scale. Like,
Just
Absolutely.
respect and treat people the way you want
it's
to be
not
treated.
hard, people. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Like,
So at the time of this recording, I believe we are at about $1,200 raised, which is freaking amazing. We
Thank
want to
you.
thank
Yes.
everyone
Thank you.
so
Thank
freaking
you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
everyone that's donated, we fucking love you so much. We cannot believe that we reached what we did at the time that we did.
It just goes to show how much everybody wants me to get rid of my man bun.
Is that what's really going on?
Sam donated all of it.
She's like, that's why she's saying she's not broke. No.
But no, Beyond Blue is a great place to donate to help.
Absolutely.
Yes.
With so many people going through some shit in their lives, and we're proud to be a part of that and help build towards that community as well. And
Absolutely.
everyone that has donated, we love you guys. I know we've said it a few times already, but we really do. And you guys mean so much to us. And Ray, do you want to explain a bit more of the cause and a bit more of what's going on behind the scenes of why we're doing this?
Yeah, so Beyond Blue, obviously, for those of you that don't know, is a foundation for mental health, basically. And that encompasses everything from, your depression, anxiety, anything really. So this money kind of more so goes towards helping the people that are working in Beyond Blue to take phone calls, to do the messaging. I think they've got a messaging service as well.
Yeah.
People making a difference.
It basically helps support those people.
Yeah.
Take those phone calls. It covers the overheads. It just keeps Beyond Blue going.
Yeah.
Because without them, sometimes you might not want to reach out to a friend. Sometimes you don't want to reach out to a counselor or a partner or anything like that. You just want to talk to an absolute stranger who has no bias and knows nothing about you. So maybe they can give you a clear,
a different perspective.
yeah,
maybe.
different perspective.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what this is going towards. Now, as you would have seen in earlier posts, it's a double whammy fundraiser. This hair isn't just going straight in the bin.
No,
I washed it yesterday and I washed it today. That's 2 more times than I wash it every month.
Oh my god! How is it not dreadlocks?
So the hair is actually going to be donated to Variety. They have a section called Hair with Heart, and that's a foundation for kids who cannot grow their own hair due to things like alopecia, cancer treatments and stuff like that as well. They want wigs, so my hair is going to be made into a wig for 1, maybe 2 wigs for a lucky child. So
That's
I'm
so
gonna go over
awesome,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, how good is this guy? Seriously,
Beautiful.
come on. That's
Can't get much better
an
than that.
awesome thing to do, man.
You guys would be awesome too if you had 15-inch long hair.
I did long time ago, but that's
Yeah.
gone way back. I probably should have donated that.
Long
but-
time ago, about 15 inches ago.
It's probably closer to 15
Yeah,
years.
we can blur that one out.
Great cause all around.
Is there anything you guys want to kind of share, I guess, on the topic? Personal experiences, thoughts, what you want to say to the listeners, I guess. Anything on taking care of yourself, your mental health?
Oh, absolutely, man. I've been through many ups and downs in my life, just going through things, whether it be just, dealing with things that are happening in your surroundings, whether it be, stuff that's going on with people around you as well. You don't know how to pick yourself up from the shit that you're going through. And, I've been through many times, especially when I was younger, where you go through these thoughts where you're telling yourself like, you're not good enough, you're a piece of shit, why bother, this is not you, you're not going to be this, or you can't ever be that, or whatever. And it's like, well, I'm still alive because I got through all that shit, and I, didn't let those inner demons get me down to the point where I'm not here anymore. So
yeah,
and I think I can honestly say, hang on, let me rephrase it. I reckon a majority of people that everyone knows around them can honestly say they probably had suicidal thoughts at least once in their life.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, you could probably ask anyone, have you had suicidal thoughts? Probably like, yeah, at one point in my life I did.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you probably 9 out of 10 people would say yes.
Yeah.
And it just, like you said before, takes that little conversation, even to a stranger, just to talk about some even small portion of what you're going through to really make the difference. And to follow up with what I'm saying is that I've gotten through that by communicating to my support group around me, which is my friends and family, and that's made all the difference for me. And I've learnt over the years to express myself, and most people who know me know that I'm a pretty open book. I like to share pretty much everything that goes on in my life. I'm a pretty open person, and I'm not afraid to share how I'm feeling. And if I can give advice to anyone, I'd say is just don't be afraid to be open. Like, it's okay to talk about whatever the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
It could be the best shit that's happened to you. It could be the worst thing that's happened to you.
Yeah.
Share it, because some people will pay attention and give a shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. So,
Jakey boy?
Yeah, man. Definitely agree with Chris on that for sure. I think now that we're in a time where the stigma's been broken about getting in touch with your sensitive sides and being okay with talking about issues in general, I think it's good to promote that to the youth, especially because they're the most important things that are gonna
They're coming up.
so they're gonna see all this. And for years and years and years, especially us when we were in our youth, the stigma was a lot more stronger, and it was a bit more, it wasn't as obvious, the conversation. So I think it's a beautiful thing that people are accepting people's pain and hearing their suffering and their tough struggles, So I think it's good, man, that mental health is where it's at now in awareness, that is.
Yep.
And I think that it needs to be.
100% agree.
I think it needs to be promoted even more than what it already is. And it's beautiful that it's out there and it's alerted a lot of people and stuff. But I think there's only so much. There's only so much left to really do to break those small stupid stigmas that people have towards it. So I think it's.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's good that it's out there, man. And
We're getting there.
and I feel like the next gen is going to really promote it, and they're going to make it into actually a confidence thing where it's it's cool to talk about this kind of stuff, And
I think so too, man. Definitely.
And yeah, it's I think by that happening, man, is going to make the world a little bit less of a
tough place.
A tough
shitty
place. It's not going to
Yeah.
feel as shitty, man. And I think like Chris said, it's okay to be vulnerable at any time of your life, even if it's around your loved ones, because I think being emotional in front of people that you care about the
There's
most is
strength in vulnerability.
yeah, absolutely. There
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a beautiful thing to have that vulnerability side of yourself that you didn't even think you had, or you kind of tried to avoid. So yeah, man. For me, man, I would just say, no matter how the struggle is, whether it's good or bad, always choose life and surround yourself with something when you are going through, let's say, a particular struggle or a tough time, and you don't want to talk. That's okay. Maybe try and pick something that can either distract you for just that small time being when it's really difficult, and whether it be music or reading a book or just simply getting out of the house and getting some fresh air, whether, be any of those things, right? I think reminding yourself with those things,
do something positive,
that it will get you back to going, okay, yeah, I'm going to stick with choosing life, and then I'm going to be able to be open and talk about
I'm still in control.
These circumstances, and I have control.
Yeah.
So, so
that's perfect, man.
I love that it's more aware nowadays, and at the same time, keep encouraging people to find the passion and the love to help one another, and just respect each other, and just know, everyone's not alone when it comes to this fucked up shit that we all go through. Like you're not on your own.
It's cool, man.
It's
beautiful.
Cool. So
And finally, Amy.
Well, I am a bachelor, a mental health warrior. I'm actually studying certificate for mental health at the moment as well.
That's amazing.
So it's something that's really, personal and very prevalent in my life.
Yep.
I have always suffered with anxiety and depression. And it's so weird. You don't really think about your childhood, but when I went to my first psychologist, and she was, kind of like, okay, let's talk about your childhood. And you're like, oh, God damn. Do you really want to get into this? But just little things that she pointed out, and she was like, yeah, that's anxiety, and that stemmed from when I was a small child.
Right.
Certain behaviors that I would exhibit as a kid. So, yes, unfortunately, it's stuck with me into adulthood.
That's fine. I think a lot of people still have something like that. They just don't know.
That's it. Yeah. And, it is a struggle. I have more good than bad days, which is really good. But I do medicate. I have to,
fine.
and that's absolutely fine, because I have a legitimate chemical imbalance.
Yep.
And at first when I was diagnosed, obviously it is embarrassing because, you're like, oh God, it's almost like, you can't handle your shit.
Yeah.
And I'm very...
There was a lot of a stigma around that.
Yeah. And, independent woman, I got this. But it was really important for me to get help.
Yeah.
And I always... Anybody, even if you do not suffer with mental health issues, I think it's really important to just experience seeing a psychologist. It's very interesting. So I always recommend.
I never thought I'd ever go to a psychologist. I went to one, what is this, about a year and a half ago, something like that. Yeah. And
it's interesing.
Oh God, I didn't shut. I was like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? And I didn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. How are you doing this?
You have to get a good one, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
At least do it once. Find where you stand with it. Know where you can use it.
Yeah.
Then you've got that in your back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, there is good and bad out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. But these people have studied for a reason. That at the end of the day, they want to help people.
Yeah. That's the reason they got into it in the first place.
Yeah. So mental health is, definitely something that I really, really care about.
Yeah.
And I advocate, reach out, talk to people. Even if you don't want to talk, just if you want to wrap yourself into a blanket and turn into a burrito, I know, delicious, but have someone there, if they know that you don't want to talk about it, just having that company can sometimes really help.
Yeah. Silence, together.
Yep.
It's all good.
That's right.
It's all gravy, baby. Mm-hmm. That's it. All right. Now we ask everyone this.
Ooh.
And I know you've only been sitting in the other room in previous episodes, but that's fine.
Watching some anime or something.
You're in your last moments on Earth.
Ooh.
All right. And everything you've worked for, everything you've created, everything, your legacy, everything is gone. Okay. But you can leave your last few words to stick around in this realm with the people that you love to make the world a better place. What would your words of wisdom be?
Don't ever stop learning and growing as a person.
Perfect. Beautiful.
So the more you learn and grow, the better your life will become. Build, people skills, change your attitude. And with that change of attitude will come the ability to handle change in difficult situations much easier. education is power.
Hey.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That is very true.
Thank you.
Education
Fist
is
bump.
power.
Don't leave me hanging.
Like I mentioned before early in the pod, Amy is one of my biggest teachers in life, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm still learning from Amy. She's teaching me new things.
Still learning as
every
well.
week.
All right, now
So-
go out, wax on, wax off.
You just have to stay one step ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Even like the support base I mentioned, you know, when you asked me before, like Amy is my main support
Yeah.
base, and I've shared many things, and Amy's helped me through the biggest shit in my life, and I'm very grateful to have her as my
awesome.
wife.
That's it.
Ditto.
And
You
my
guys,
best-
you
I'm
guys
very
are goals,
grateful that
hey.
you're
You
my
guys are
wife.
goals.
You guys are goals, man.
But no, we've come to that time,
we have.
and it's now come to that time.
Ooh.
So stay tuned. Shortly, we are going to get rid of this. So, if you like this episode, like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram, follow us everywhere. Show us some love. Help us reach 500 goddamn followers on Instagram.
Come on.
We're almost there. We get there, and then like 2 people unsubscribe, and then 3 people
rude.
subscribe. And
It's
then,
because it's all the fake accounts.
yeah, I know. Stop
It's
following
goddamn
the fake
bots.
That's
Yeah.
spam.
Yeah, we do not want to
Spam
promote on your
sandwiches.
page.
No.
But
Yes.
if you like this, like the video, like the episode, leave a comment if you can. Let us know. Like, we want feedback. We want feedback as well. Reach out to us on our socials. But we love you. Any final words, guys?
Thanks for tuning in, and appreciate listening to us on more of a vulnerable episode and a really personal episode. It can be a bit of a touchy subject for some, but you know what? We're not about that, and we just hope, this conversation continues.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so thank you again from the bottom of my heart for listening once again, listeners. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say, bro.
Awesome.
I'll just say one last thing, Amy. If people want to check out the podcast,
Yes.
where else can we find you and
Ooh.
Veronica?
Well, we are on Instagram at It's A Latte Pod. So give us a like. We try to put all of the good content up there. We are busy, but we try our hardest. And you can also find us on Podbean or Spotify.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
There it
if
is.
you want to educate yourself on many things on the mental health awareness and women's health and all things in between on that subject
Yeah.
and more, do yourselves a favor, go and subscribe, watch. Sorry, you're not doing video content, are you?
Not
it's just
yet.
A pod. So, not yet. But for now, go tune in and listen because you will learn something. I promise you. And
Amazing.
on that
Thanks
note,
for
thank
coming
you
on,
so
Ames.
much again
Thank
for coming
you.
tonight.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
listening, and I will see you guys. We will see you guys.
Yeah.
But me specifically will see you guys in the next episode with a colder scalp.
Ooh.
Hey, let's go.
Peace out.
Peace.
Goodbye. Jay, get a picture.
Am I free?
Whoa, there it is.
Oh, Ray, you're so sexy.
I'm so sexy.
His sideburns like that. Yeah. Shoot them sideburns. Anything else going, Hamish?
Mate, look, he's not looking what he did before, but I think might be an improvement.
When did I start growing this? It was like
I was going to say, when was the last time you were like bald, like shaved all the way?
2017 sometime.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was 2017.
So that's 4 years worth of growth because I never cut the tops off. I never cut the things off.
It looks good though. I like it.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, it grows back. Like,
It's probably down here again. Yeah.
you wake up tomorrow going, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to our main man Hamish from Imperial.
That's our boy right there.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Look at his mum.
Right.
Yeah.
Any words to the foundation you're donating to, mate?
Beyond Blue, use the money wisely. With great responsibility comes great responsibility. What? No, I mixed that up. But anyways, enjoy the money. Hope it goes to a good cause and variety. You kids are going to look fabulous.